So the main thing that we're going to be talking about if we want to lose body fat and lose body weight is a calorie deficit. All a calorie deficit is that we're taking in less energy from food than we're expending. So what a calorie is it's a unit of energy, and we expend energy every day. When we're training, we're expending mass amounts of energy, and even in just day-to-day life, we expend energy by walking to the shop, doing daily errands, what I'm doing right now with my hands, and we call that NEAT. So what that is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's basically our fancy term for the energy that we use to just basically survive every day. So when we're talking about losing weight, that's the first rule, is to be in a calorie deficit. You're not going to lose any weight if you're taking in more energy than you're expending. So there's many different styles of diet out there. We've all heard of loads of different ones. So I'm just going to kind of run through a couple different ones, how they're going to work, why they work, why they might suit you, why they suit me, and why they don't suit me. So the first one I'm going to talk about is ones that I don't actually do. So the most kind of common diet that people will go on to would be just a daily deficit. It's super easy, it's very straightforward. It essentially means, for example, if I eat 3,000 calories and I maintain weight at that, I'm going to use the typical one everybody uses, 500 calories away from that. So if I eat 2,500 calories, I'm going to start losing weight. So I'll just eat 2,500 calories every day and weight loss will happen because I am in a deficit. Whether that deficit will be large enough for it to happen quickly or slowly, that's something that you're going to need to track yourself. Then there's like low carb or no carb. And this isn't one that I particularly like. I actually eat quite a lot of carbohydrates, and I just find that carbohydrates will help you perform better in the gym. And when we're talking about a dieting phase, kind of the most important things, everybody expresses protein so much in order to maintain, if not build, hopefully, some lean muscle mass while in a deficit. But what is also a big driver, and it's actually thanks to the guys in 3DMJ that I learned this, is training is a way bigger stimulus for muscle growth and to retain lean muscle. So what generally most people will find is if they are on a super low carb or no carb diet, they're very tired, they're very lethargic. I've done it myself in my younger years, and I used to come home from school and fall straight asleep, wake up at 7 o'clock thinking it's 7 in the morning and freak out because I had no homework done. So that year I really found out that no carb really doesn't suit me. It might suit you. You might just be that kind of person that doesn't really need carbs, can still go into the gym carb free and absolutely kill it every time. You know, that's great for you. Use low carb or no carb. The biggest thing that I almost dislike about it though is it puts a real big stigma on carbohydrates. And you know, you'll hear everyone, and that's actually why I started out with a no carb diet when I was about 16 or 17, was because the only thing I had heard about nutrition was carbs were bad. So I just cut them completely out of my life. And at that time, it probably was much needed. And the main thing that really caused me to lose all the weight from being an overweight teen to being a relatively lean teenager wasn't the fact that I wasn't eating carbs. It was the fact that carbohydrates would have been such a big staple of our meals, and especially in Ireland, potatoes, you know, that's every Irish mammy's fucking go-to to have with dinner, that if you cut that out of your diet, it's not the magic that is fats and proteins that's making you lose weight. It's the fact that you've cut out the majority of calories in your diet, so you've ended up in a calorie deficit. So that's kind of my opinions on low carb, no carb, and daily deficits. Now, what do I do myself? I do a very aggressive method, and it's a very aggressive method of intermittent fasting. So first I'll explain that term. Intermittent fasting is basically you pick periods of time where you don't eat. You take in no calories. And a very popular way of doing this is, say, a lot of people won't eat till like 2 or 4 o'clock, and then they'll just kind of like eat like normal, so they'll like eat their lunch and dinner like normal. And how that works is you're basically cutting out all your calories from your breakfast. And you know, your breakfast could easily be, in my case, generally about 1,000 calories. So that's putting you in a big daily deficit. Daily dawns with the daily deficit. But what I'm doing myself is almost a mix between a daily deficit and intermittent fasting. So just purely using myself as a case study, I generally will maintain at about 3,500, close to the 4,000 mark every day. If I'm eating that, I'll kind of maintain weight, maybe gain very minute amount of weight. So what my coach has done, and my coach, if you don't know, is Danny Lennon of Sigma Nutrition. Definitely check out his podcast, some great stuff on there. But what we're going to get onto is what he's doing to me. So what we do is kind of like a big diet that was out there, the 5-2 diet. You eat for 5 days, you fast for 24 hours for 2 days of the week. We're more so doing a 6-1 diet. So on my 6 days, so those are the days that I'm eating, and things have actually changed from here, but I'm just going to talk about our first 5-week block. Is we took 2,475 calories in on a normal eating day. So that's already a big deficit from what I'm used to eating. And then 1 day a week, we have 900 calories. And that 900 calories is generally taken in at the tail end of the day. Danny stipulated at about 6 or 7 o'clock, but if I'm working 7 to 8, I'll just leave it off till 8 o'clock. And on those days, we have a maximum limit of 900 calories. All that's stressed on me is to take in a minimum of 70 grams of protein between 2 meals. So if we look at the maths behind this, it's going to be 2,475 times 6 plus 900. So we come out with a weekly caloric intake of 15,750 calories. If we divide that by 7, we're looking at 2,250 calories on average per day. So if we think about a daily deficit, I'm essentially in a daily deficit of 1,750 calories a day for the past 5 weeks. So this is an extremely aggressive diet, and why we're dieting so aggressively at the start is because I've got the most amount of body fat on me right now that I can afford to lose, so I can afford to go aggressive and not really worry too much about losing muscle mass or anything like that, because my body has the fat stores it can take from. As well as, I just find this a real easy way of dieting. Generally, I'll pick my fast day as the busiest day of the week, and I like to do it that way just because if I'm dealing with clients all day long, day in, day out, I'm not really going to be thinking about food. As well as, I am just one of those weird people that if I am hungry to the point of I am fucking starving, that I can just tell myself, "Cop on, Donica, you don't need to eat, you can go longer." I always use the adage of, I just think of myself on stage as a fat piece of shit, and that kind of gets rid of that thought of hunger. But not most people are like that, and that's kind of me getting to the point now of the video, is there's many different ways you can look at doing a diet for general population or for a contest prep. And the main thing with what I do is, an aggressive diet isn't going to be a long-term thing. I started 24 weeks out. I give myself plenty of time. I've gone from 86 point something kilos to my lowest weight last week at 79.2. We've actually gotten to the point already 5 weeks in where my calories have been upped, my carbohydrates have been upped, to essentially slow down the weight loss process. Which is a great place to be at 18 weeks out, the fact that you need to slow down your weight. And the reason I like that for contest prep in particular, not that I've done it before, but just what I believe is going to happen is when, in the weeks running up to the shows, I will probably be on the highest calories I've been in this whole prep. And for any of you that have competed before, you know what it's like, that peak week that everybody talks about. You know, you're slow, you're lethargic, you're on fuck all food, you're just in a bad mood all the fucking time. And I don't want to compete like that, you know. I like to have the energy to even compete. Day of, I want to feel strong. I want to feel like the training the weeks beforehand, I've been absolutely dominating it. I want to build as much confidence in that week as possible before I go into the show, because if you feel like shit, you're going to go up stage and they're going to know you feel like shit. So, to recap this video, calorie deficit, must do. Get into that calorie deficit whatever fucking way you like, as long as you can stick to it. If you can't stick to it, there will be no long-term weight loss. So, that's it for today, guys. Any questions, write them in the comments. I'll try and get back to you, but that's all for now. Bye! Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. One more time. From the top, people.
From the top. Blooper.